frustrated India for a large part of the day, it was Jasprit Bumrah, all about Jasprit Bumrah. So Steve Armisen must have given you a lot of pleasure watching a fast bowler at the end of the day, second new bowl that kind of spell to finally break the resilience of Stokes and Buttler.
He was fantastic, wasn't it? Yeah, when you look, there's a lot of question marks to see from us at tea time, as well as the commentators that were mentioning, could Bumrah come back after that first spell he had, which was 8-9 overs? Did it take a lot out of him? Well, he answered that in the positive. He was fantastic. Seam bolt upright, good pace, good aggression. He got the breakthrough, and really should have bowled England out if it wasn't for a millimetre of his heel not behind the line. So it probably England deserved to come back tomorrow, because obviously that little slip up, and England applied themselves, never really never give in sort of attitude. But that little small margins could have been the difference between finishing the game tonight or not. But Jasprit Bumrah, very, very well bowled.
I mean, we have many things to talk about at the wrap of this game, but we'll probably save that when the inevitable is to happen. We can talk about Jasprit Bumrah for a bit longer. Steve, as a bowler, Jasprit Bumrah has actually had this problem for a while now. It cost India dearly in the final of the Champions Trophy just over a year back. And now you'd think that bowling coaches would be working with him, mentors would be working with him. He does it very, very often, or at least too often for a bowler of his standard. Did you ever have a problem with the front foot? Did you ever have to rectify it? How can you tell a bowler like Bumrah, who always gets this close, to fix this problem? It could cost India a lot more dearly in future.
Well, I must admit, I didn't have a problem with no balls. I only bowled probably a handful in my whole 17-year career. You work to the adage that I've got size 12 feet. Something's got to get behind that line, surely. And that's what you've got a line there. You've got to get behind it. No matter, I don't know what size Jasprit Bumrah is, but even if it's just a size 5, surely some part of that foot's got to get behind the line. It's there. Actually, the line's getting bigger and wider, to be fair. So there's only so much a bowling coach can do. Only so much a bowling coach can say. When you're on a roll and the momentum's going with you, confidence is high, the beans are going, the adrenaline's there. You're running a bit faster, you're trying a bit harder, and maybe you do creep up on that line. But that's where you've got to, maybe his experience comes, but he's been doing it for a long time, as you say. Experience comes, tells you, just rein it in a little bit, just hold it back, stay in the motion, stay in the moment, and you're getting too close to that line. Unfortunately for him, it nearly cost him a 5-for, because that was his 5th wicket. And if he had only had a 4-for, he only had himself to blame. But luckily for himself, he got 5-for. But we could have been talking about a game finishing and a day off for the Indian bowlers.
Yeah, he's cost us dearly as well, hasn't he? But anyway, is it that simple from a lay perspective that he should just load into his delivery stride that much sooner? I mean, I'm just talking basic.
Generally, see, I'm a batsman. I'm not a coach, not a fast bowler, but the basics of bowl or rectifying a no ball problem is to just pull your runner back a little bit.
Yeah.
So only a few inches. And I'm pretty sure that he's been told, he's aware of it. He's been working on it as well. We saw him slightly off color in one of the, in fact, a few games right after that Champions Trophy final game where he overstepped to that Fakhar Zaman dismissal. He understands that. He's a very intelligent guy.
Yes.
I have a lot of time for Jasprit Bumrah, but it's gone on for too long. And therefore, a question must be asked that whether it's the bowling coaches, are they working enough with him? Is he as an individual working enough on this problem? Because you're not gaining anything. And Steve will actually, I'm sure, concur and perhaps add more to it if there is another dimension, that going a little over or going so close to the crease is not giving him any advantage that he wouldn't be getting bowling 6 inches behind the crease. For example, if he's just cutting half and half, he should be all right. But when you try and breach that line way too often, if you get too close, that's when you end up overstepping. So that is something that he will have to rectify.
Yeah. Okay, now, I mean, maybe England is a great team to learn from. We saw during the limited overs, there's some ridiculous stat that England haven't bowled a no ball in a really, really long time. Let's spend a little time talking about Jasprit Bumrah, the positive side, because it was him that opened up the game. Otherwise, we could have easily gone to day 5 with the way Buttler and Stokes were batting. And you could see, Akash, why Virat Kohli was so keen to put him back into the team. even if there were questions regarding his match fitness.
He's brilliant. In fact, when you look at Jasprit Bumrah, he's got slightly awkward action. So people who haven't played him enough will always be slightly late on the ball, because you don't get the kind of clues that you get while facing a bowler with an orthodox action. He's rapid in the air. He's also filled up. If you see his body, you see that a lot of work has gone in the gym, and now it's showing on his body, and therefore the speeds are consistently on the higher side. High 140s is where he's been there throughout. And he bowls that heavy ball. He hits the deck very hard. He's your bowler. With a Kookaburra ball, or even with a Dukes or an SG Test ball in the second innings. Kookaburra both innings, Dukes and SG Test definitely second innings, because he is that bowler that India always lacked, who would come in and actually hit the deck hard consistently on a slightly probing length. And take wickets, and he's been doing that.
You know, Steve, he's only 4 tests old, which is something we tend to forget, because he's played a lot of limited overs cricket. But the length to pick up when you're bowling in test cricket at different times, he seems to be the kind of bowler that gets the most out of him if he bangs it in hard, just short of a length. At times, he needs to go fuller. That second new ball, just take me through that spell and what it tells you about Bumrah and perhaps how quickly he learns.
Well, he's learned obviously from the first innings, where the length that he bowled was slightly too short. The seam position for me looked completely different to what it was in the first innings. I think when you go back, if you go back through the footage and you watch his first spell, his seam position was all over the place. It was scrambled. His wrist position was just slightly towards the running even more into the batsman than he normally does. But it could just be it's simply that he hasn't bowled a lot. He hasn't bowled a lot on this trip, and I think the more you bowl, the better you come in it from a fast bowler's point of view, and then the confidence you get. So it maybe just took him a little bit to just get his body from sort of going over slightly to getting, as the game and the match goes on, getting him upright into that position, to then get his wrist behind the ball and the ball going down towards the batsman the way he did. And I think that was the difference between the first innings and the second innings. And when you do that, you tend to get a little bit more speed behind the ball. You get a lot more accuracy. And if you've got like Ishant Sharma's showing, if you get the seam bolt upright, you've got a great chance of the ball swinging or moving off the seam. And I think that's the difference between the first innings and the second innings. So he has learned, but I think what he's done is he's just actually bowling. The more he's bowling, because he hasn't bowled a great deal on this trip, the better he's becoming. So, watch out come Southampton with a week off. You could see an even better Jasprit Bumrah when you get there.
Yeah, bodes well for India if he is to keep his form going for the next 2 tests. Yes,
just to add to what Steve was saying there, you've seen evolution of Jasprit Bumrah, the bowler. When he started, he was bringing everything into the right-handers. You could almost be, after a while, line him up that everything will be bowled from the corner of the crease and it will come back in with the angle, something in the air as well. But now, over the last 6 to 8 months, you've seen him getting closer to the stumps. You've also seen that wrist that Steve was talking about. It's now right behind the ball, and the ball has now started shaping away from time to time as well, or at least holding its line from that 4th, 5th stump line. And that's an asset. And when you see somebody grow, evolve as a bowler, you know that he's on the right path. And it's a giant leap, because from one-day bowler, T20 bowler, an outstanding T20 bowler, to a reasonably good test bowler, 2 fifers in 4 test matches, he's been absolutely outstanding.
All right, that is for Jasprit Bumrah. But all of this is going to day 5, not necessarily because of Adil Rashid or Jasprit Bumrah's no ball, but largely because of Ben Stokes and Jos Buttler. Partnership of 169, the biggest of the match, kept India frustrated and at bay for nearly 60 overs in the day. This is a wonderful innings and a big innings personally for Jos Buttler, isn't it, Steve Anderson?
It is, and it just shows you, to be fair, it shows you what respecting the bowler, having the right application, having the right mental application, and also your technique. You back in the technique, being able to leave the ball, being able to know when to play the right shot against the right ball. This is Test cricket. This is what Test cricket is all about. And, the partnership between Virat Kohli and Ajinkya Rahane yesterday, and the partnership between Ben Stokes and Jos Buttler today, wasn't anything to do with any bad bowling. I thought the bowling was excellent throughout both partnerships, but it was good batsmanship who respected the good balls. When the ball was offline, they put it away. And the mental approach to the game was absolutely perfect for Test cricket. And I think that's what's lacking in the modern day game. And a lot's been said about how Jos and how Ben Stokes play as Test cricketers, because people think the white ball specialists. yeah, actually, you've got to look at these and you've got to think that, you know, the reputation and the stand in the game should be a little bit higher especially because of this innings. I fought for the team, you know, and it was just a special bit of bowling to get rid of Buttler that got him out. But I thought his shot selection was high quality. I thought his leaving the ball was very, very good. His defence was strong, and he respected the Indian bowlers, but put the bad ball away. I think it was a very, very good Test match innings.
And it's the kind of partnership that will make England feel a little better about themselves going into Southend.
Without doubt, because there is a cloud over Bairstow's availability and Alistair Cook's availability, and there are question marks hanging over Joe Root's personal form with the bat. So if there's so many questions with Pope thrown in the mix and Keaton Jennings, they do have issues. There is no doubt about it. So this partnership runs from Stokes, runs from Buttler, has just reignited faith within the batting group, I'm sure. And it also tells us one thing, that white ball cricket, T20 cricket, does not necessarily corrupt your batting technique or temperament. We have seen two players who are outstanding limited overs cricketers, but they are equally adept at becoming multi not talented, but multi-format players,
yes,
who are equally efficient in all three formats, and that's been a revelation, and that's happening now very often with a lot of players, whether it's Virat Kohli or Jos Buttler and Ben Stokes in this innings.
All right. From what we know, Steve Amundsen, of the weather in Nottingham, it says just cloudy, but is the forecast sometimes wrong, and can we have a downpour of rain all day tomorrow?
No, it's unfortunately, I'd love to tell you that Noah is building his ark. The animals are standing there, they're coming in 2 by 2, and it's going to wash away through the Trent. But unfortunately, it is basically it's the same as this week, same as being all week. And I think we're going to have a little bit of cloud cover, which will help the Indian bowlers get that one wicket. And we might only be there for one ball, to be fair, tomorrow morning. We might be there for one ball, or we might have Jimmy Anderson bat all day. Fingers crossed.
I thought the way Jimmy Anderson was getting peppered on his arm and his shoulder and the inner thigh, just swing and get it done with. But the fight of Jimmy Anderson takes England to the final day. Thank you, Stephen Amundsen. We will get your thoughts tomorrow. So to yours, Akash Chopra, as we do a complete wrap of this Test match and a scoreline of 2-1 that now is inevitable. Do download the ESPN Cricket for mobile app and catch all our